and delighted to finally have you here after all these weeks, months, busy preparing. So I'm going to start by giving the floor to two very key drivers behind the ETU initiative that all of you will know very well. Danilo Che and Cynthia Chave will start by giving us an introduction.
First, okay, you can hear me now. It was 2 years. 2 years. In 2020, we meet last one, more or less. A lot of you were in Barcelona also 2 years ago, and 2 years we have worked together. We introduced our initiative. Flagship Cases work with our modular projects. Flagship Cases work with our experts. We exchange the knowledge. We work together. We have, I hope, we have found a new solution which will will help in the future your municipalities to go to this step of energy transition. We hope, in the name of the project, Renewable Energy. And also I must thank Cynthia, mother of ENEA initiative, that we have bring something new in your municipalities, and you will use all this knowledge which we give you to develop your places, cities, villages, and also integrate the knowledge in a solution which will help your citizens. And with this, I will give the word Cynthia. Once again, thank you, and Cynthia.
Thank you, Danilo. So as just to continue in line what Danilo is saying for us, and I think on behalf of all the team, we're very proud to have you here, fortunately to meet each other. For us was a challenging project, not only to be addressing this effort about the knowledge transferring that you have been involved, but then with the barrier that COVID put us as a double challenge. No, so we are very happy that finally we build and extend the community also with our first partners and the community of the modular projects, that they are encouraged and committed, and that we prove that this approach of the Interreg MED program about how to replicate and make useful how we can bridge knowledge and research and these outcomes from experienced experts, but also to the local level. And I think that this exercise that we have been and with you together, it gives us a lot of good lessons to learn. So today we begin these 3 days of not only exchanging with you to meet each other. This is a very nice way to also finalize this exchanging of ideas and why not to build up new projects that can start from here. So we encourage you to take a profit of this networking 3 days meeting. And of course, today it's mainly to be among the community to exchange and to have some final reflections during about the projects that you have been that you are carrying on, and how the initiative bring you and bridge you some other inputs that are useful for you. So thank you very much to be here, and I will let the floor to Nicola Garnier.
Thank you, Cynthia. And thank you everyone for having made it all the way here. I know it's been really difficult for everyone in the last few years, but I'm really pleased and really grateful of all the support and all the hard work you've been doing as part of this initiative and as part of the horizontal project Renewable Energy, all the modular projects, and these new cases, these new initiatives that have come together. And for us as the program, sorry, I didn't introduce myself first, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Nicolas Garnier, and I represent the Interreg MED program, the program that is funding this whole initiative and the projects that are linked to all this work here. And now that we are in the phase of launching the new programming period with new opportunities and new ways of working, I think it's really great that we have this opportunity here this week to celebrate and witness everything that has been achieved in the last few years, and start preparing for what's coming next and all the challenges we have ahead as well. So I would like, I thought it was interesting to show you briefly the new program, the new structure, and how we will operate in the new program, so you know what to expect for the coming years. So maybe if I could have my presentation up on the screen, and we'll get started. But I think with what we have coming in the the next 3 days, I think there will be plenty to discuss, and maybe we will start seeing some connections with also the new program and how this could be taken further. So okay, so this is the cooperation area. So the Interreg EuroMed program, as it will be called from now on, from 2021, actually, when we launched this new program, is composed of 14 countries and 69 regions. So we have extended the cooperation area and have welcomed 3 new regions from Spain, and also 2 new countries, Bulgaria and North Macedonia. So in total, we have a lot of areas that are all facing similar challenges in terms of getting more support towards the territory's greener transition and making it effectively happen. So we will have a budget of about 294 million euros for the duration of the programming period up until 2027, and we will have as financing rate, co-financing rate 80% this time, but it's still substantial for organizations to get involved and get support from the program. And also, as it's been already the case in the current projects, we will try and encourage more cooperation and participation of regions and countries and institutions from all shores of the Mediterranean. So these ones are the ones that cooperate directly as partner and receive funding, but also we will encourage to add in the new projects as associated partners, institutions from the southern and eastern shores of the Mediterranean. So the overall approach and ambition, and only very small challenge that we have set ourselves for this new program, is to aim to support the transition towards climate neutral and resilient society. And as we know, the Mediterranean has got a lot of very valuable resources from human aspect and also from natural aspects that all at threat of the global changes impact all around the Mediterranean. So this is really the aim of programs such as the EuroMed program as transnational cooperation to work on those resources, making sure that we find ways to better support territories in protecting them, whilst keeping at heart the sustainable growth and the well-being of the citizens. And in order for all of this to happen, we need to work together, you as institutions, but also us as programs. And it's really important in this new programming period that we build even more of these bridges between the other Interreg programs, so the other cooperation areas that also work on similar topics, also other EU programs that work specifically on innovation or environment or all aspects of our societies that are important in different aspects, and with all the other initiatives and strategies that are relevant for the territories that happen also at European and international level. And that's why we need to be in line with the European Green Deal, with the sustainable goals of the United Nations, with the territorial agenda for 2030. So all of this put together in terms of a strategic vision in order to benefit the territories in the end. So, and for all of this to work and make it happen, in the current programming period, we had started this in the 2014-2020 period, as you have witnessed and be part of this new operational structure where you have governance and capitalization embedded, directly integrated in the way projects work. And in this new program, we have identified 4 key missions that will all fit together in order to address the global challenge of the Mediterranean to become a greener and more resilient area. So these 4 missions will basically bring together solutions that are developed individually by all the projects. So each project will belong to one of these missions, and together within the missions, solutions will come out in order to answer these challenges at large, and by ensuring that there's a concrete and more manageable solution for each of these missions that are available for territories. So they will basically act as a portfolio of actions in different aspects and different topics, but all answering these general missions. And maybe I will emphasize the green living areas here, because this is that has been really crucial in what you have been working on with the renewable energy aspect and this initiative. So in the green living areas, this will be dedicated to supporting the integrated vision of the energy transition and greener transition of the territories. So the development of greener living areas and working towards minimizing the impact of our living areas on the environment and on the territories. So for example, the projects that will be within this mission will be targeting the negative impacts of urban activities, or facilitating the energy transition at any possible level, from the financing of energy, from mixing the different sources so that it becomes more resilient in terms of the territory's ability to fight the effects of climate change. And also it's been key in your projects as well, promoting the involvement of citizens in the green transition of the territories. So these are the specific objectives that will fit within each of these missions that they will be targeting. So as I was saying, it's really broad, and as we progress, you will see that there will be more details and more of a precise idea of what is expected to target as particular action in those objectives. You notice as well that one of the changes we had is that we have as a 4th mission the topic of tourism, which is central in the Mediterranean, and regardless of the angle and the sector we are tackling it from, as long as it belongs to tourism, it will be part of this one transversal mission. And how am I doing on time? Do I need to? Okay. Yeah, okay. And just briefly to introduce how the projects, we will have basically 2 different types of projects. Thematic projects bring in concrete solutions, working as partnerships, developing one common solution, tackling one particular challenge. And the governance projects will be in a way the continuation of the horizontal projects we had in 1420, and also a more direct approach of governance called institutional dialogue. So at policy level, integration of the policy side as projects to basically lay the ground for the thematic projects. So the thematic projects will have these 4 different options: studying, testing, transferring, and strategic territorial, which will be the other 3, but tackling challenges specific to one type of territory. And each of the thematic projects will contribute to one mission. Okay. And the governance projects, as I was saying, there will be one thematic community project for each of the mission and one institutional dialogue project for each of the missions. So yes, that's it. And you have all the information on the website. I'm here for the 3 days, so I'll be more than happy to discuss any plans, ideas, and opportunities together with you. We have at the moment the first call for proposals for governance projects that is open until May. And very importantly as well, we will open the call for thematic projects at the end of June, and it will be open until mid of October. So start thinking about these opportunities as well. And as we go along, we have plenty of events that we organize so that people can get information from the program and also from the national contact points in all of your countries. Thank you very much, and have a great conference. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Cynthia, Danilo, and Nicolas, for your introductions. Oh. I realized actually that with the busyness of everyone arriving and getting everything in place, I didn't introduce myself. So I'm Lara Barangay, who I would have written to many of you many times. I'm sorry. So now we're going to move on to our first panel discussion of the day, which is about a very key topic for the ETU Initiative. It's, I think, one of the points in which we really excel, which is energy communities for social cohesion. Okay, and the session will be moderated by Alexia Boulanger, who's busy setting things up. And I'll pass the floor to her. Okay, enjoy.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Lara, for the presentation. I would like to invite the speakers to join me on the floor for making the presentation. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Welcome, welcome on board. Welcome on the floor. I'm very happy, as my colleague already told you, to meet again after 2 years, after the COVID challenges, and so it's a great pleasure for all of us to host this event in this beautiful frame. Oh my God, I saw just now it's beautiful. We will talk in this session about renewable energy communities. It is a very hot topic since the end of 2018 because the European Directive RED II as born as that moment, and so give the possibility to territories to create this renewable energy community. So in the framework of the ETU initiative, we include also this kind of project, and you can see that we have 5 territories working on the renewable energy community project that participated to the ETU initiative. So we will have today the presentation of Sergio Olivero. He is online, but he is head of office and business of the Energy Center of the Polytechnic of Turin. And he supported the Magliano Alpi renewable energy community that has been the first renewable energy communities in Italy. We will have also the municipality of Ragusa with Bruno Cicero and maybe Carmelo Licitra if he was able to connect. We will have also José Miguel Granados and Alvaro Fernandez from Cooperase, and they supported the Rio Monachil Renewable Energy Community Project. And we will have also Luis Amat from the mayor of Valdambas and Remey Aldrich Thomas from municipality of Girona, as they will present the project of the municipality of Valdambas. And at the end, Miguel Garcia from Los Pedroches that will present also the project of renewable energy community of Los Pedroches. So I will give the floor first to Sergio Olivero.
Thank you. My
Okay with the
video
connection?
Can you turn my video on?
If we had to fix something, maybe we can pass to another speaker.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, well, but I'm not, the video doesn't work. It is disconnected. It must be enabled by the organizer.
Sergio, can you hear me?
Yes.
Please, can you open the camera so that we will be able to see you?
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Okay, so
it's the same for us. It's a problem from.
Okay, I will propose you to start with the speakers that are physically here, and after we will come back to you, so that maybe the problem will be solved in the meanwhile.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So that I would propose to go with maybe José Miguel Granados and Alvaro Fernandez from Rio Monachil. Yeah. Okay.
Hello, my name is José Miguel Granados. Hello, Alvaro. Yeah, we are from Granada. Well, from Monachil, it's a little town close to Sierra Nevada. Yeah, we are developing since. Well, this is me in the beach, not nearby from the town, but another beach. We are both of us from Cooperase. It's an energy services cooperative that is developing the energy office there in Monachil. Since 2020, we are developing this energy community. It's called, the town is Monachil, but it's called Rio Monachil because the river that is going by, and we have three next locations. Well, here it says the 3 parts of Monachil, but also we have 3 towns close. Since 2020, we are developing this energy community. It's called, the town is Monachil, but it's called Rio Monachil because the river that is going.
Sorry, maybe we have a problem with
that.
With...
Three next locations.
There is a problem with a recording.
It says the 3 parts of Monachil, but also we have 3 towns close. Since 2020, we are developing this energy.
Okay. But did you register it before? You register your speech before, or?
It was right now. Or, I mean.
Okay, the mystery of the technology. So let's go on. There is a problem with recording.
The 3 parts of Monatil, but also we have 3 towns.
Again,
okay, yeah,
again.
okay. I'm hearing myself, so. Yeah, we got the prize from Sun Energy and COP57, which allows us to develop the energy community. We did a participatory process during 3 months. We got the constitution of the energy community. Okay, I'm hearing voices. I'm hearing myself, so. Yeah, we got the prize from Sun Energy and COP57.
No, but it was very interesting, so that it's important to
okay, it's going
to
be
repeat
the same
it.
all the time. Okay. Okay, so finally on December we did the constitution of the energy community. We are an association hoping to change to a cooperative. We have these 4 roles. Somebody has, well, you can see the logo from the Monatil town, so you can share, you can free your roof for the energy community. We got a cooperation agreement with the town for this first installation on a roof. You can also have your own installation and then you share the part of the energy. You can consume the energy 500 meters, which is the actual law in Spain. And also you can invest in different installations. Yeah, we did this during the pandemic, so it was both online a meeting for real. Yeah, we signed this agreement. It was one of the first in Spain, we think. So the council allowed to install in a council roof. Later we came in this enrolled in this ETU Initiative Flagship Case. We were last year we did well, it's not update, but right now we are this first installation 10 kilowatts from the which we have all paid for this is the energy community owns this installation, and then we have like 10 to 12 installations in households. Yeah, the initiative also have an energy poverty consideration. So part of the energy is shared for people who need. I mean, in collaboration with the council, we are considering which families will have a share of the energy in a lower price. This is the town. The cycles are these 500 meters distance allowed to share the energy. Yeah, in fact, this is an old picture, and the green ones were the one that already were installed. Yeah, then we are increasing members. Right now we are 54. We did in November a forum there. We also have a web page. And during December from now, we are doing also other projects. You can see there are energy community, rural energy communities. We are developing, we are going to 10 towns in the Granada province, which have less than 1,000 citizens, and we are proposing the idea of the energy communities. And also we got Agenda 2030 project that Alvaro is going to share with us.
Hello. So yes, at the beginning of this year, we had this this program to the Agenda 2030 in order to, it was mainly has two different objectives to target. One was to monitor all the installation that we already have. So the 45 kilowatts that we've been talking about. And also we have, we will have like an office that will be like an informative place to talk about energetic communities and everything around the province of Granada. Then talking, well, if you wanna.
Yeah, the ETU initiative, when it was proposed to us, we considered three scenarios. The first one will be Monatil itself right now with the consumption from the council. Okay, yeah. From the council, and then the second scenario, and it will be to have the first scenario, sorry, it's Monatil itself, and with these 45 kilowatts we already have. And second and third scenarios will be increasing the population or the towns nearby to get 50% of the energy through renewable energy.
Okay, so as you can see, the first scenario, it's about 8,000 inhabitants. Then we go to 12,000 inhabitants because it is two municipalities, not only one. And the third, it's 4 municipalities, so it's around 40,000 inhabitants. The idea is, in the scenario 2 and 3, is to have the 50% of the demand covered by photovoltaic systems and wind systems. And I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. So the first graph that you can see in the left up corner is the demand, like the consumption of the different scenarios, and then you have the production of the different scenarios. Well, this is similar, but maybe the most important figure on this table are the two last rows. That the electricity covered by the photovoltaic system in the first scenario is only 3%, but if we go to the second and the third scenario, it's around 30%. And same thing with the wind. So the idea is that the PV systems and the wind system cover 50% in the scenario 2 and 3. Well.
Yeah. Briefly, we consider social innovation in this project because the participation is from the citizens. Also, the council is enrolled. All the management is doing through assemblies and so on. So I mean, it's interesting, but it's been really hard to extract. We have a lot of issues because we are one of the first experiences. So also we are building a model with the people, but we don't have that model. So sometimes it's difficult.
So that's what we wanted to share with you. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I'm sorry for the technical issues at the beginning, but at the end, you managed to make to give a clear picture of your project. And so really thank you. It's interesting because it is a project involving different municipalities. And so it is a real project of territorial cooperation. Local territorial cooperation is very, very nice. I would have several questions for all of you, but I think we can go with the presentation, and after that we can open a discussion. So I would like to thank you for the moment, but we will come back to discuss after. Now we can make a test and give the floor to Val d'Ambas municipalities with the mayor Luis Amat and Remei Aldrich Thomas from the municipality of Girona. Is it possible to have the connection with them? Yeah. and they will present us the renewable energy project of Val d'en-Bas.
Hello. Bona tarda. Sentiu?
Val d'en-Bas municipalities with the mayor Louis Amat and Remei Aldrich Thomas from the municipality of Girona. Is it possible to have the connection with them? Yeah.
Hello.
And they
Hello.
will
Good afternoon.
present us the renewable energy project of Val d'en-Bas.
Hello. Hello.
Good afternoon. We can hear you. How are you?
Sentiu? Bona tarda, bones tardes. Good afternoon, everybody from la Vall d'en-Bas.
From the municipality of Girona.
Buenas tardes. Thank you for your availability.
Hello. Ens sentiu bé?
Good afternoon.
Present us renewable energy project of
Good afternoon. Hello. Mira.
Good afternoon. We can hear you. We have some issues. We have some technical issues with the
Bona
sound.
tarda, bones tardes. Good afternoon, everybody from la Vall d'en-Bas.
From the municipality of Girona.
Buenas tardes. Thank you for your availability.
Hello. Ens sentiu bé?
Good afternoon. It's very nice to hear again. It's very nice.
Hello. Delay. Mira.
Good afternoon. We can hear you. We have some issues. We have some technical issues with the
Bona
sound.
tarda, bones tardes. Good afternoon, everybody from la Vall d'en-Bas.
From the municipality of Girona.
Okay, I have a question to the technical team. Do you think if you continue with physical speaker, the others also are physical, but they are not here, it would be better or not? Okay, so we will continue with, we have some issues, we have some technical issues with the sound.
Bona tarda, bones tardes. Good afternoon, everybody from la Vall d'en-Bas.
Okay, I have a question to the technical team. Do you think if you continue with physical speaker, the others also are physical, but they are not here, it would be better?
Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Is it possible to hear me? Is it fine?
Yes.
Okay. So, well, first of all,
It was going well. The beginning was okay, but Remei, can you hear us? We cannot hear you. Your mic is closed.
hello.
Okay,
Now?
perfect.
Is it fine?
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Well, first of all, apologies because we have not been able to come physically, but Luis Amat had a plenary council today and couldn't reach everything at the same time. I'm going to share a screen and present our case. Can you check if it's fine?
If you can put the full screen, it could be better, but otherwise it's okay. Okay, perfect.
Okay. Well, Luis Amat is the mayor of La Vall d'en-Bas and also is the provincial deputy of environment of the Diputació de Girona. His English is not very well, and he has asked me to translate and prepare a bit this presentation of the Val d'en-Bas project and the experience of the creation of these energy communities. I'm going to try to be really brief. So just to present a bit, La Vall d'en-Bas is a village surrounded by hills and crossed by many streams. 3,000 more or less inhabitants, and it's composed of 7 villages. And this thing is really a special characteristic that makes the project with some complexities. Its main activities of this village is the agriculture and the tourism, and it also has, as the other partners explain, some principles of regarding the holistic, the territorial equality, the social innovation, the green economy, and the cooperation and commitment with all the energy transition subject. I'm not going to explain all of this because it's in the presentation, but maybe we could say also that to reach the energy communities, we have had the technical support of this project, this Interreg project, but also Diputació de Girona as technical assistance, because this kind of municipalities don't have technical staff or enough technical staff to drive this project. So they count with the services, in this case of Diputació. So they have used us to elaborate the technical projects and also to start with the assistance of creating the concept of a smart energy community. We have prepared a video. I'm not sure if Cynthia, I can try to put it. It's in Catalan, but translated in English. And it's the video that we've been used to explain to the citizens how we manage the concept of this energy community. Shall I try to put it, or maybe you have I've already sent in the chat the link. You want me to try?
I don't know, because with the technical problem we had before, I think it's better to avoid something strange.
Okay.
So but we will, if you can share in the chat, I think we will share also the slides, so people will be able to
You'll
have a
find
look.
them. We will
Thank
pass
you.
them. Well, you can find it. Apart from this, let me go to explain the case of Vall d'en Bas. We have three different projects that are meant in different stages at the moment. One of it is the energy community of Sant Esteve d'en Bas, which is a photovoltaic installation that it's already project and in tendering process at the moment. It's located in the sports pavilion, and this photovoltaic system has been also planned to inject also the electric recharging point of a vehicle, and also it could supply it for 22 families and 2 families suffering from energy poverty. This is more or less what it's planned. And in a first stage plan, and in a second phase of this project, using batteries, it's also meant to go to reach the lighting of the football field, the street lighting, the nursery, and the primary school, and up until to reach a 100 kilowatt hour installation. Then there's a second project that has been also driven in Veïnat Cirera and Veïnat Les Ulletes, and in this case it's already in execution, the solar photovoltaic with batteries in this case of this part, and in a second stage, it's studying the possibility to extend the overproduction and the surplus of this to families. There's some meetings already driven to explain the energy community concept to families, and more or less the concept is already mature. And finally, there's a third project in the school Ben Tallat, which there's an existing solar photovoltaic installation that it's not reaching the whole self-sufficiency of the school, but it's project an extension to reach the 100% of the school consumption, but also to reach the energy community next to it with families. And in this case, it's been analyzing the crowdfunding scheme that has been working in this Interreg project. So in a short-term scenario, we have this part of already done of the San Esteve d'en Bas. And then in a second scenario, it's a second-term scenario. It's now interesting to go on with the part of crowdfunding to extend the photovoltaic part of the school of Verntallat. And finally, in a large term, Vall d'en Bas wants to spread all the energy community concept and also the photovoltaic installations in the buildings that have the public buildings that have already in each of the village of the 7 villages that the municipality consists of. Just some photos to show up how has been working the project. You can see a meeting and also explaining the community process, and you have also here in the screen the school of Verntallat, and you can see that in a radius of 500 meters, which is the radius that is allowed in Spain for self-consumption, we can reach some of the families, and it's been calculated using the Prismi Plus. So we've been studying it with the tool and trying to check the possibilities of energy supply and the scenarios that could reach with the roof's surface. Moreover, it has been it's been checked how to manage with the public parts, what can we reach, and which is the electric consumption that would we reach with by providing the public facilities photovoltaic systems. So here there's a presentation of some of these scenarios, and that has been using the Prismi Plus, and also we find interesting to share with you is the crowdfunding school Verntallat scheme. We have been working with the EU crowdfunding network, and we have been trying to prepare a campaign in order to get funds from the citizens and make them participate to the installation of the school photovoltaic system. For the moment, the planification is to ask for 10,000 euros in 40 days for the first step, and the second one would be to reach 35,000 euros for the next one, and to reach more families and grow up the energy community. We are not just working in the part of energy community. We also think that this is a holistic process with, and we have also a multifunctional scope. So we have been working on an on-demand passenger transport system. We have also been trying to start energy workshops to citizens in order to promote energy efficiency on buildings and renewable energy installations. And Vall d'en Bas has also biomass boilers and small district heatings, and a grid of cycling rides, and there's also a green vehicle to manage inside the village for the municipality scheme. I think that for us that's all. Just try to be as quick as possible and as brief as possible. But if you have any questions, you can ask one of to Luis Amat or myself, and we will try to answer any of the.
Just about video.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for explaining your beautiful project. As I was explaining before, we'll discuss some questions after all the presentations. So if you can manage to stay a while, it could be good so that we will be able to discuss all together after. I would like to underline something that I really loved in the ETU initiative is that was the crowdfunding possibilities. And I would like I was thinking, hearing this presentation, that it is good, this kind of event, because the municipalities will also be able to share experiences. For instance, Val d'Ambas already realized the crowdfunding campaign, and I was to pass the floor to Bruno and maybe Carmelo, if he's connected, from the municipality of Ragusa, that investigated some months ago the possibility to make a crowdfunding campaign for the municipality of Ragusa. So I think it's good also to see others making it, and so it can be a good example to bring to the mayor or to the city council. In any case, I would like to pass the floor to Bruno Cicero from the municipality of Ragusa, and I don't know if Carmelo Licitra is also connected to make a welcome or greetings. Let me know. No? Okay, so Bruno, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Alexia. Hi, everyone. I'm Bruno Cicero. I'm here to represent the municipality of Ragusa, and today I'm also speaking on the behalf of Carmelo Licitra, is the energy manager at Comune di Ragusa. Just as a brief introduction, Ragusa is a municipality that is located in the southeast area of Sicily in Italy, and it is one of the largest municipalities in Italy. So for this reason, it covers a largely diversified territory that covers coastal areas, rural areas, urban development, with also an important historic center is Ragusa Ibla, that is in the World Heritage List from UNESCO. In its commitment to climate adaptation and energy transition, Ragusa recently approved a Sustainable Energy and Climate Action Plan, SICAP, and where it identified short, mid, and long-term strategies to improve the overall sustainability of the municipality itself. Among the strategies identified, the creation of renewable energy communities was one of the most important ones. So 10 pilot projects were identified, spread across the territory, and they were start to be developed. The municipality of Ragusa decided to join the ETU initiative with the case of San Giacomo, that is a rural village that counts less than 500 citizens. It is located about 15 kilometers away from the main urban area. It was chosen due to the rural resilience that characterizes the areas. So it makes the area suitable for energy transition projects, and also being a small center, there's already a strong sense of belonging to the community. So probably the implementation of collective energy production models is made easier. From a preliminary estimation, we start thinking about 20 kilowatt peak photovoltaic system owned by the municipality, installed on the public school of the village. That is one of the very few public buildings in the area. The production, we assume that would have been distributed between the school building itself in self-consumption and around 10 residential buildings and private businesses in the area. The municipality already launched a call to seek for potential members, and it received a very positive feedback from the community. This is the school building. It has a very large rooftop. So the goals of the initiative are cover the environmental, social, and financial aspects. So it aims to smarter energy management, increase the education about energy consumption, and also awareness, especially among younger generation. It aims at make the sense of belonging to the community stronger, and also to convert the only school building in the area in a sort of civic and energy center of the community. So It also aims at the reduction of the energy poverty and the sustainable rural development. It might be also useful in the future for the creation of a local energy company or any other like energy related business. Is also useful to improve the technical knowledge of the municipality and the community. And it also supports the private and public electromobility. That is a strategy that is already included in the CCAP at the moment. So we joined the ETU initiative and we decided to work with different, let's say, tools. Some of them used for the entire municipality, such as Local for Green Plus and Prismi Plus, and other ones limited to the area of San Giacomo, such as Pegasus, Stores, and Compose. We also joined the crowdfunding coaching to explore non-conventional funding methods for renewable energy communities. In parallel to the ETU initiative, Municipality of Ragusa is carrying out also other activities for the promotion and the development of renewable energy communities in the territory, such as the agreement with a local authority, that is the Libero Consorzio Comunale di Ragusa, and also the collaboration with ENEA, the National Agency for Environment and Energy. We found a lot of synergies between these activities and the ETU project, and a lot of aspects are complementary between these three activities. So we found it very useful to run them in parallel. So going to the tools, we interface with Pegasus for the creation of a microgrid in San Giacomo. Let's say, first we discovered that the 20 kilowatt peak PV plant to serve 10 residential bins, it wasn't enough. So we developed two scenarios. The first one, keeping the same installed power, but involving a smaller number of consumers. And the second scenario is about increasing the installed power. We calculate the initial investment, and we are at the moment refining calculations to calculate the payback time and also evaluate the possibility of putting energy storage and see which one of the two scenarios is the most convenient. We work with Prismi Plus on the entire municipality, developing three scenarios. First one is the base case. We know other installation of renewable energy sources. Second scenario is about covering 50% of the heating sector and transport sector in terms of consumption with renewable energy sources. And the third one is the full electrification of heating and transport sector. We received results regarding consumption and production, but it was also useful to see that as well as an environmental benefit given by the drop down of greenhouse gases emission, there's a very good benefit in terms of social sustainability thanks to the increase of downstream job position thanks to renewable energy sources in the area. We also received from Local for Green Plus a series of local green policies applied by other municipalities in Europe, and we are in the process of selecting the most suitable ones for Ragusa. During the ETU initiative, we also facing some real cases, real world cases. We discovered different financing methods for renewable energy sources. Apart from the traditional one where the REC is financed by the municipality, we explored crowdfunding thanks to the coaching sessions. We developed a very detailed plan to start a crowdfunding campaign. We submitted to the city council, but at the moment is on hold. But we hope to start soon with to implement crowdfunding in a real case scenario. We also seen the possibility of having the REC financed by the REC members. This happened in the historic center of Ragusa Ibla, where people cannot install PV plants on their rooftop due to heritage and landscape constraints. So basically, the municipality assigned portions of municipal buildings to benefit from REC advantages to people that cannot directly. And also there are some cases in which renewable energy communities are funded by energy service company, so third-party financing. In this case, the prosumers installed PV plants to establish new renewable energy communities. This is just a snapshot of the crowdfunding campaign we developed during the ETU initiative. We got very in detail. We involved a communication agency specialized in crowdfunding. We were ready to start, as I said, and we hope this can success. Thanks a lot. That's everything.
Thank you very much, Bruno. It has been very, very clear. Ragusa has a lot of projects, and so thank you for your explanation and your presentation. I will pass now from the south of Italy to the south of Spain with Andalusia, then Miguel Garcia for the project of Los Pedroches.
Thank you. Well, I'm Miguel. Hi, nice to meet you all. You don't mind, right? Again. Well, I'm from Rural Bridge. Rural Bridge is a consultancy firm focused on rural municipalities. Sorry, I'm gonna drink water. Do you have presentation? No.
Do we have the presentation of Miguel?
We'll have for tomorrow. Okay, it's fine. So basically, what we do is we help rural municipalities to use all this European funding that is coming, to use it in projects that they are going to change their small rural society or their big rural society, but it's going to change the whole economic system via social, sustainable, and economic impact, with economic impact. So Los Pedroches is a region in North Cordoba. So it could be, if you look at the map of Spain, it's almost in the middle of Spain, southern region, and it's mainly known for production of pork and milk in this area. So it's really good Iberian pork, and that's made in the dehesas, and the dehesas is a sustainable way of growing, of growing livestock. But then, big part of the industry is dairy. And this dairy, as we all know, there are these big, well, we could call it factories, or there are these big farms, large farms, where all the cows and their feed, they live in good conditions, but they produce a lot of externalities, and these externalities are manure and slurries. So when you have all this density of externalities, you need to treat it properly. And what is happening now is we are talking about an area where so far what they're doing is they're using these externalities for agriculture. But this area has a lot of dehesa, so it doesn't have that much agriculture area. And so what it end up happening is that they use all these externalities in all the hectares that they have for agriculture purpose, meaning that it's not well treated. The slurries or the manure is not fully fermented, so it's not fully composted, and it's causing a huge impact on the environment, and also it's causing a huge impact on the water and on the greenhouse emission. So as we advise, we work with municipalities, we're working with a local one and we just saw this huge problem, and no one's doing anything. I mean, the big cooperative, everyone has the agenda, but no one has this agenda of solving this problem, not even politicians. So we saw this incredible opportunity of this just on some manure. There are more than 100,000 tons per year of cow and pig. And so this means thousands of cubic meter of biogas. And so the project, how it's been planned, is creating 7 biogas plants in the whole region, small biogas plants, but don't think small as a small, like they're still large. I mean, the cost of a biogas plant would be 2 million, and yeah, they would be able to produce enough energy for 1 or 2 towns. So then we were thinking, okay, we can use all these externalities to produce biogas. So that sounds interesting and promising. I mean, everyone is doing it in Germany or Italy, or why not Spain? In Spain, there are in total maybe 80 biogas plants in the whole country. And then, but yeah, we have to bring up to this project the producers, and we have to give them something in exchange. So how about if we create, I mean, we didn't create the energy community for this, then how about if we create byproducts from the biogas plant for these farmers, so they have this incentive? And then we wanted to solve all these other problems of this region, as is rural Spain, low income, high unemployment rate, not inclusive, as something, I mean, in rural areas in Spain, like women, they tend to go to cities and men tend to stay. So there are these issues. There are certain issues that we could help by creating energy communities, producing PV with photovoltaic energy, and creating 17 energy communities along the region, connected in a system with these biogas plants, using the biogas to produce electric energy and heating. And of course, including the circular economy part. So using the byproducts obtained from the biogas plants to produce these other products for the whole society, I mean, for the whole economy, for farmers, new industry. Like, I mean, there are so many byproducts you could get from insects. Depends what insects that you could use for bioplastic or fertilizer, the stimulants for agriculture. So you could get, of course, food from insects. Depends what they are fed from. If they come from manure, you cannot, but you can get all these different byproducts, microalgae, hydroponics, or even, I mean, you can go even farther of what kind of byproducts you could get from all these with all these different inputs. So far, we think it's been pretty successful, as when we joined. Well, we are a special case. We are not a flagship. That's the difference. The flagships, they were already sort of advanced as special cases like ours. It was still on papers, and they were promising, and it still is very promising. It's a long-term project, ours. Even though the main cooperative in the region, they have an income of 400 million. They still don't have their own biogas plants, and they've been dealing with this for the last 8 years. So the main actor in the area doesn't have its own solution. So we know it's a long-term project. Yeah, we're still fighting for it. Yeah, coming back to the ETU initiative, it really helped us. It gave us the push and the media impact that we needed. We used the tools through shape the project. As when we started, it was solid. I mean, it had all these different statements, but it needed this push that we got. And so far, we're still working on it. Excited, and yeah, it's pretty tough. But yeah, we believe really in that this is the only solution for, well, one of the few solutions to solve the issue in this area. Yeah, we're still excited about it.
Thank you very much, Miguel.
Thank you.
It has been nice because you didn't have a presentation, but I was able to feel the passion and for your territory and for your project. It is a very integrated project, taking into consideration different aspects of environment. And so I think it's one of the more integrated we had until now. So good luck, because it is, yeah, as you were saying, a long term, but it is a nice project. So let's continue. And we will continue to with the last speaker, and I was presenting it at the beginning. He is Sergio Olivero, Head of Finance and Business of the Polytechnic Energy Center of the Polytechnic of Turin, and he was supporting the first Italian renewable energy community, Magliano Alpi. So Sergio, if the connection is working well.
Yes, now it seems it's working very well. So thank you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you well.
Okay.
Perfect, thank you.
So I'm going to share my screen. Can you see my slide?
Yeah, if you exactly, perfect. Perfect,
Okay.
thank you.
Well, I will talk about the renewable energy community that is called Energy City Hall of the city of Magliano Alpi. That is the first renewable energy community created in Italy in compliance with the RED II directive that in 2020 was transposed experimentally by the Italian government. Now, with a law that is called 199, the RED II directive was transposed officially, and it will enter into force in the second half of this year, and this will lead to a major change in terms of business side. Well, this is me, so I'm not going to bother you with details. Well, REC, Renewable Energy Communities. According to the Italian regulation that transposed the RED II directive, a REC is a private law legal entity. This is really important because private law means that even if municipalities or public bodies are members of the REC goes on being private. And this is creating the conditions for new public-private partnership paradigm. A REC is based on an open and voluntary participation. As I've already said, the new public-private partnership models are likely to be created because REC enables the coexistence of public and private entities within itself. The primary objectives of REC is to provide environmental, economic, and social benefits. Please note that REC is not just economic benefit. A REC is an entity that is capable of providing also other kinds of services, and typically, especially with the final transposition of the RED II directive, thanks to the business side, it is capable of creating value, and this value can be reinvested and used to fight energy poverty. So RECs can represent the technical organizational catalyst of sustainable local development models based on the energy transition. And I think this is a key driver factor for next steps. Well, the city of Magliano Alpi is a small one, 2,184 inhabitants, the province of Cuneo, near the border with France. The first REC was created in compliance with the RED II directive in its experimental stage. Now the REC of Magliano Alpi is existing. It is also a member of RESCOOP, one of the largest European organizations of energy cooperatives. What are the objectives of Magliano's REC? To help citizens and small and medium enterprises to cope with energy transition. As we are going to see in the next steps, the Energy City Hall of Magliano Alpi is acting like the catalyst of a process where other municipalities and also private companies and citizens can benefit of the experience that is being made by Magliano. REX, and especially the Mariano's one, is oriented to supporting local economic development in the post-COVID phase, and to support other cities to design and activate REX. They are our idea. I am from the Politecnico di Torino, that is a public university. Our strategic objective is, how can I say, not to make, to make a major able not to reinvent the wheel. The experience made in Mariano can be used by them without starting from the beginning. By 2021, 2 additional RECs are ready, but practically speaking, we are waiting for the new rules that are going to be issued probably in July this year. And we created other 2 RECs because one of the limitations of the experimental transposition of RED II directive is that each member, well, all members must be linked to the same medium voltage, low voltage substation. And in Mariano Alpi, we have 13 substations. So theoretically speaking, we can create up to 13 RECs. This does not make sense. So the idea is that we started. We also worked with digital platforms to test them physically with real customers. But we are ready to create a larger REC that will cover not just Mariano, but also neighboring cities. So this is really important. Now, thanks to the law in Italy, there's a lot of money available for city renovation and for energy transition. Just for RECs, 2.2 billion euros are going to be made available starting from the second half of this year, just for RECs. So Mariano Alpi is working with the Polytechnic with many other cities in order to create networks capable of using this money and using the money effectively. This is the so-called GO-CHAIR, that is Gruppo Operativo di Comunità Energetica, that is a REC operational group. You can find some information on gochair.it, but the idea is to choose one or more digital platforms, ensuring the interoperability among all nodes of the REC. Then the REC practically is the catalyst of a local ecosystem made by designers, installers, builders, small and medium enterprises. Practically speaking, this is an opportunity for the local ecosystem to work. It is new jobs, that is local development, where a municipality act as an independent guarantor, can clearly also be a member of the REC. At the same time, the GO-CHAIR approach, that is a local group of representing the local ecosystem, is capable of getting economic advantage. At the same time, citizens and companies know whom to contact. That is a physical interaction, not just a call center. This is really important for the sake of the awareness of citizens and companies. Practically speaking, Mariano Alpi started on December 18, 2020. That is just when COVID was covering Europe, and practically speaking, now many agreements have been signed with municipalities in Italy. I have just put then the logo of some of the municipalities that are working with Mariano. The approach of Mariano was also adopted by the Comunità Collinare del Friuli, that is a public body in northeastern Italy, near the border with Slovenia, to start the RECO-CHAIR project. You can also find some information on recochair.eu. and the autonomous region of Friuli Venezia Giulia made 5.4 million euros available to be spent by 2023 to create RECs. Please note this is not a European project. This is an initiative where the municipalities in the Comunità Collinare must spend this money buying and installing photovoltaic systems, acquiring digital management platforms, and so on. Really important is the role of the Italian Forum of Energy Communities, and the RECO Magliano Alpi is a member of IFEC. IFEC was created by the World Energy Council Italy in cooperation with the Energy Center of the Politecnico di Torino. It is an independent, no-profit association oriented to making the dialogue possible among stakeholders. So Magliano Alpi was the first, but it has acted as a catalyst and has started a process of replication at Italian national level. So as I've said, the RECO Magliano Alpi is a community partner of IFEC, is also one of the founding partners of Atenes, that is the Association for the Fair and Equitable Energy Transition, especially focused on multifamily buildings. And there's also in February, also a scientific cooperation started between the city and RECO Magliano Alpi and ERIGRID, that is a large European initiative, in this case led by the JRC, the Joint Research Center of the European Commission. And practically we are providing data, because we have real data concerning working RECs, to the computational system of the European Commission in order to understand the effects of the final transposition of RED II directive on the business models. And this is really important also to get an operational capacity of designing projects in order to get the 2.2 billion euros for RECs whose tenders are going to be launched in the second half of this year. So thank you for your attention, and I going to stop the video sharing.
Thank you very much, Sergio. I think Magliano Alpi. Now, Magliano Alpi has been a very good example, and we have a lot of things to learn from this example, because having been the first small village to start with this kind of project and to manage to implement it really, they overcome a lot of barriers and difficulties that the others are facing. So it's very good to share the experiences with the more advanced project and the others. Well, we are getting late with the time. I'm sorry for that. So I would like to ask now to the three discussants of this panel that have Ivana on stage, representative of Pegasus project, Mario Lamagna from La Sapienza University, representative of Prismi Plus project, and Mauricio Bryan, representative of the European Crowdfunding Network, to give a brief comment related to the presentation and the cases that have been presented in this session. Who would like to start? Ivana, ladies first. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm just joking, but I think what we saw in all the presentations, that there is strong interest for the energy transition, and also that all of those projects show that they are aware not only of the energy poverty or energy community potentials, but also of the social parts, and especially of the environmental parts, what we saw from Spanish case, where actually you want to connect energy trilemma, because one of the big questions now and today is how we can, and what is actual sustainable development. But what we all have forgotten, that maybe even 50 years ago or less in some areas, sustainability was reality. But when we started moving and consuming much more energy, then we created a problem where we now with technology are trying to solve. But maybe technological solution is not always the best answer. So I think the energy communities are the model how we can get back the power to the citizens, how we can involve them directly, and thus improve also the social component. And at the same time, actually, we are making some good things and positive things for the environment. So this is what I see from the cases which you have presented. And because I was working with some of you, I know maybe a little bit more, but it was very interesting to hear what, especially in the long term, you are planning to do, because as I see, this was only one of the first steps that you take to go further, and you are now in very early stage of the development. And I would say all of us are in the process of long-term learning.
Thank you very much,
Thanks.
Ivana. Yeah, I think you're right. And yeah, it's nice to see the long term. You follow the first steps, and it's nice to see what are the long terms. Mauricio or Mario? Mario.
Okay. Okay, can you hear me? Yeah. Yeah, it was a pleasure also we didn't met right now, but I hope we'll do later on to see people that we discuss along those months together about energy transition. It was so interesting for us to transfer our software to different realities. So we start from Italy with the first project, and then Greece, and now we arrived finally in Spain, also physically, and also in Croatia. And this was an enriched experience, since we had the opportunity to meet also different kind of energy communities. So for example, we were not aware about the fact that the 500-meter restriction for transferring energy in Spain. So it was something new that we will consider also in future. And my consideration, especially for the future, we have saw a lot about electrical consumption, because also for us, for Prism, it was easier to gather that kind of data. But for future challenges, we have also to think about the thermal part, the thermal consumption, to also monitor, as we do the electricity, also to monitor the fossil fuel consumption. That's the next challenge to tackle. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mario. Mauricio.
It's a pleasure to be here. So pleasure to be to see the different projects, especially in person. On our side, as the representative of the European Crowdfunding Network, very proud of the results and being, already forward with crowdfunding proposals. Understanding this typologies of funding, it's one of the key aspects for the challenges that we're facing. We're facing a crisis within, the gas, the energy, in any level, in any context, rural, urban, islands around Europe. So one of those sort of challenges that we are facing, we have to find agile solutions, and especially with funding. Sometimes we could combine different types of funding that we may have access from public authorities, from big European grants. But what happens when you're in a very early stage initiative? Where do you get access access to funds when you're starting? This is where those communities that you have around your projects, I bet you've already seen, no matter what, they're committed, they're fans and passionate about what they're doing, and you could transmit that. And you have done that in a very short time, just 10-15 minutes presentation. And you have here a fan too, and one of those that would support you, and any chance to. If you really launch that crowdfunding campaigns, I'd like to see that one. So, a pleasure.
Thank you very much, Mauricio. Yeah, I think renewable energy community are taken all their sense in this moment. So it is very important to implement this kind of project. And so good luck with all your projects. Thank you very much for coming and for presenting. I would like to propose you to continue eventually the conversation, the discussion after the third session. And so we will be able to leave the floor to the others. Thank you very much also to the audience that I hope that the technical issue at the beginning have not been a problem, and that you managed to receive all this information and this beautiful project. I thank you very much. I would like to give the floor to my colleague Lara, and for the second session. Thank you all.
Okay. Thank you, Alexia, for that session and everyone else for your insights. We're going to now move on to our next panel, which will be about developing sustainable energy action plans, SECAPs, and that's going to be moderated by our colleague Hevre. Yeah, I've been worried about that. I've been worried about that all day. How is it? Hevre. Okay. Okay, and I have a couple of other little announcements to make. You may have seen we have Wi-Fi personalized for the conference, so it's going to be printed out in a moment, but if you want it for the time being, it's just ETU Initiative, and the login, the password is ETU _2022. So we're going to print that out later, but if you want that for the time being. And then also after our next panel, we'll have a coffee break. And I'll just take the opportunity to tell you all, you've all heard, you've seen the little things around about signing the manifesto. Take your little coffee break, follow the QR code, sign the manifesto. Yeah, and that's part of our objective this conference. Okay, so without further ado, I'll pass you on to Hevre. Okay.
Okay, so thank you, everybody. My name is Hrvoje Maras. I come from the Northwest Croatia Regional Energy Agency. I will be your moderator for this session. First of all, I would like to invite all the panelists to join me here at the stage, and also the discussants of this panel session to sit in the first row, because we'll have some questions for them as well. So, yeah, the speakers. Please, Davide, Antonio, Branimir, Simone, Filippo, and Antonioni. I hope there's enough chairs here, so yeah. If not, then we'll... Okay. Might get crowded. Yeah, okay. Okay. Okay, so not to have all those panelists over. Okay, so from one institution, please decide who is going to be sitting here. And if there are any questions, we'll pass the microphone to you in the first row. Okay. Great. Okay. You can come from this side. It's much easier. Yeah, I can squeeze on the right side, please. Okay, excellent. So yeah, as before I've mentioned, my name is Hrvoje Maras, but I would like to hear a bit from you, just a really, really short introduction from your side, your name, your role, and your institution that you're representing. So we can start from my side, from the left side, please, Davide.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay. Good afternoon to all. My name is Davide Cozzella. I represent the municipality of Procida, a little island in the Gulf of Naples, and my role is energy manager within a European project in the municipality of Procida. And here we have.
I am Antonio. And the municipality of Procida for the mayor of Procida.
I'm Davide Astiaso Garcia from Sapienza University, PRISMI Project Coordinator.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, my name is Antonio Lecha. I come from Onda, the municipality of Onda. I'm civil servant and I'm in charge of the climate change office.
My name is Branimir Gregoric. I come from municipality of Brdovec in Croatia. I work as an EU funds associate.
Good afternoon. My name is Simone Taddei. I represent Consortium Oltrepo Mantovano, which is a consortium of 19 rural municipalities located in northern Italy, province of Mantova.
Good afternoon. I'm Filippo Grisantemo. I'm an energy engineer, and I represent with Alessandro Comunità Energetica Valli Maira Grana of northern Italy.
Thank you. I am Agnese Alessandro. I am president of Comunità Energetica Valli Maira e Grane. Is two countries in North Italy with 21 municipalities in all.
Okay, great. We have a really powerful bunch here representing a lot of municipalities. So the topic of today's session is the energy planning. So as you probably know, the Sustainable Energy and Climate Action Plan is the key document for either municipalities or cities, but primarily for Covenant of Mayors signatories that shows how to reach energy and climate commitments until the 2030. And it represents also an upgrade to the SEAP, which was the previous edition until the year 2020. So just to start off really quickly with this, so the first step into development of the Sustainable Energy Climate Action Plans, so there are a lot of methodologies out there available on how to actually initiate this whole process. And I think that since most of you already have encountered this process and have also developed your action plans, it will be really interesting to hear how you have started this within your communities. We also have an expert on SECAPs, I would dare to say here, one of the largest, especially in Croatia, also working on a lot of Horizons and Interreg projects, who I would like to ask on what's the best way to start the development of the Sustainable Energy Action Plans, what is the key methodologies. So please, is there a microphone for Tomislav Novosel from Regea?
Hi, so my name is Tomislav Novosel. I'm Hrvat's colleague. And basically, one of the issues that we've very often encountered when we talk about SECAPs is that they are very often a document created in a vacuum. So they don't really take into account a lot of the other policies, the stakeholders involved in the process. And very often what happens is that this is a process done by a municipality and a consultant. And basically measures are just created to fulfill the targets of the SECAP, and they don't really synergize well with the actual needs of the municipality. And there have been a lot of approaches around Europe to try and mitigate this, primarily through the process of stakeholder engagement. So where basically the local community is involved in the process of creating SECAPs. There have been a lot of EU projects on this. One that we have participated in was Pentahelix, that basically focused on the introduction of 5 key pillars of society in this process. And there have been some excellent examples across Europe, where, for example, whole communities in smaller cities and smaller municipalities got involved, where you actually had 50, 100, 200 people actively participating in trying to co-create measures, voting on them, and similar to smaller focused groups dedicated on specific sectors like buildings and so on, to try and help both the consultants and the municipalities identify and create measures that will be suitable and very tailored to the actual needs. And one thing that we would also like to ask you then is, how do you see this process happening where you basically have developed your SECAPs, and do you try to do something similar? Do you try to involve the local community and the key stakeholders that will be impacted by the decisions made in this SECAP when you're actually creating it?
Yeah. I think this is a general question which relates to the development of the SECAPs. Is actually what's your basic concept when you develop something like this, and how do you ensure that there's going to be a buy-in in this SECAP? So while you have to monitor the development and implementation of measures within the SECAP, are you really successful in that, in this whole process? So since I don't know if you all have presentations. If you don't, then we can also make this informal discussion because I sent you a list of questions. So we'll go in that direction. So if you feel more comfortable discussing these questions, then you can also use the presentations that you maybe have submitted. So the three key questions that I would like to ask my panelists here is that, as Tomislav mentioned, is how do you perform this energy planning within your communities? Do you involve key stakeholders during this process, and what are the specific challenges of your in this process that you have encountered? Also, what are the key energy intensive sectors in your communities? So what did you address? Did you address the buildings, the renewable energy production, or the facilities within your municipalities, or the transportation, or whatever sector? And also, how has these PRISMI and Local for Green ETU tools and policies helped you in the way of making these projections and assessment of potential measures to be implemented to reach the SECAP targets until 2030. So as we started, David, maybe from your side.
I prepare a presentation.
Okay.
So maybe. Perfect. Okay, does it work?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So, good afternoon again. I will give you some clues about our proposal, which is strictly connected to the SECAP and this kind of activities. It's called the PIRET, Procida Island Roadmap for the Energy Transition. Clearly, it's okay. The presentation we already have. We need to define firstly our island. Procida Island is one of the three smallest islands in the Gulf of Naples. It has a surface of around 4 square kilometers. And it's situated in the southern of Italy, in the Campania region. And let's say that concerning the socio-economic features, the maritime sector, but also the tourism activities are the main spread. Keeping in mind that is an island clearly based on tourism activity. Concerning the energy supply, the island is connected to the mainland with a 30 kilovolt submarine cable, and which is the only source that fulfill the electricity need in terms of import, because clearly we have also the in terms of production the photovoltaic plants, which clearly are the main renewable energy sources within the island. Indeed, there are around 300 kilowatts of photovoltaic plants. And clearly the role of the municipality is defined by the fact that it hasn't been involved in several projects, and the signature of the Covenant of Mayors in the 2015, but also the acceptance of the Sustainable Action Plan in the same year was key action in that way, and that's posed the island such a lighthouse for the renewable energy sources. And let's say that in this proactive context, where the island has been involved in several projects related to renewable energy sources and other projects like this, we propose to realize some kind of roadmap for the energy transition by joining the ETU Initiative, where clearly the tool that are more aligned with the initiative are the PRISM tool, the Local for Green, and especially these two of them. Yeah, as I said, just a few remarks for the technical description of our case. We already said that our municipality is proactive and is involved in renewable energy fields in different projects. We need a roadmap for this transition, and we are also very we follow very carefully the concept to integrate the citizen with this network. The sentence, an island that doesn't isolate is one important sentence that we are trying to follow also in terms of energy field, in the energy fields. Yeah, clearly with the objectives to achieve with this participation, a guideline to the island decarbonization process, the application of the toolbox related to the ETU initiative, and a resilient planning and energy governance is needed too. In general, we applied within the ETU toolbox the PRISM Plus with the help of our colleagues, where clearly based on the state of the art of the island in terms of consumption and in terms of renewable energy sources available on the island. We built 3 scenarios with some results in terms of GHG emission saving, and clearly, okay, there are these ones that you are able to see. Okay, and also we had this discussion for Local for Green. We received the example, like my colleague before from Ragusa said about the different possibilities in order to try to involve the local stakeholders and also the citizen to share, to integrate more renewable energy sources as possible, or some other things like that. And it's something that we should discuss more in detail within also the political part of the municipality. And then we applied also, we did this exercise with the precious help of Mauricio about the crowdfunding, which is quite a new initiative in our island, because we didn't manage before training like this. We proposed this project named Power Procida, an initiative with the aim to install and increase the photovoltaic plant percentage in Procida Island. Clearly with the aim to involve the citizen to spread this concept of the renewable energy sources. And with Mauricio, we built a model in order to define the budget, the community that should be involved, and also the communication instruments that clearly are required in order to build such a strategy. And clearly, the spidergram is an application of this exercise, where the connections are more in detail manage with the tools that are needed in order to build this kind of connections. And we proposed this activity of crowdfunding to the municipality, the political part, and we are trying to find out the best solution, the best option, in order to try to apply this kind of exercise, but this project, let's say. And this was my presentation to give some concept from what we started and how we are trying to proceed, because clearly we as I said at the beginning, we signed we accepted the PAES, the Sustainable Energy Action Plan, in 2015. So now we are working in order to build a new plan, and clearly it's a plan that needed the support of the local stakeholder, because we have some difficulties on the island, and clearly we need the help of besides the citizen, clearly also from especially from the local stakeholder, the activities, the responsible for the higher consumption of the island. And the difficulties clearly are there will be some difficulties in order to apply this kind of strategy. But we will try to do our best to figure it out and to solve this.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you, David. Yeah, I think it's a great example to have such a small community to show that these ETU tools can be applied even for such small islands. And also, as Mauricio pointed out, it's great to involve citizens not only as a funding source, but also as an engagement strategy for all the measures that you want to implement.
I would say that was that we have a population of around 10K of residents, so it's very densely populated.
But small, but really dense.
A small island, 4.6 square kilometer of surface, with 10K of residents. Then clearly in the summer period, this number increases a lot.
Yeah. So the pressure on the infrastructure is even bigger.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, David. In the municipality for Fonda, what's the situation, please, Mr. Lecce?
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. First and foremost, I'd like to, on behalf of the mayores and councillors of Fonda, thank the organization for inviting us to this workshop today and tomorrow to the conferences. For us to be here is we are very happy to share with you all we have done during these two, I can say, intensive and hard years since we signed the agreement of Copenhagen mayors. I am going to give you some features about our village. I think it's good for you to put in context, you know, which are our situations. Onda is located in the north of the community, Valenciano community, in the province of Castellón. We can say that we are one of the largest built cities in the province. We have more than 100 square kilometers of our municipal district. So it means that we have, of course, a quite extensive size in terms of land, and we are considered that the entrance of the gate of the entrance to the natural park of Sierra Espadan, and we are quite close to the coast, just about 20 kilometers from our village. And I have to say that the City Council of Fonda is always committed with the climate change, and it is what it created an office as an instrument of to manage and to develop different projects related with the energy efficiency. So in different areas, mainly in residential buildings and transport and mobility. Okay, so as I said, I would like to give you some ideas of our city. We can say that we have a great variety to the tourism. Visitors who comes to Onda can go trekking through the mountains. As I said, this the Serra Espadana mountain. Of course, they can also sail with kayak in the dam, in the Sichar Dam, in the Mejera River. And of course, we are very proud of our old town, where people can walking through the narrow streets and enjoy our good cuisine. And going up to the Muslin Castles, we have a huge Muslin Castles. It's called 300 Towers of Castle. And of course, we have some offers to the tourism. If they want to visit some museums, we have 2 of them. Here we have the pictures on the right. You can see the National Science Museum, where you can enjoy watching different weird species of animals. And on the left, you have the picture of our Chirac museums. We are proud of team of them because we take care of different archaeological remains that we get from the rehabilitation of the houses of the old town. So I said Onda is a large municipality, so we have a potential surface where industries can implant PV panels in their roofs. More than the, I think it's, yes, you can see the extensive area of the industrial land. More than 10% of the surface is designated to industrial land. It means that we have more than 11 million square meters of surface. So this extent area with Villarreal is on the right of the picture and Alcora is on the top of the picture. So make up the so-called triangle of ceramic. So it means that over there, the most and the big important companies of tiles are located in this area. So you can imagine that the energy demand is quite strong, it's quite high, almost more than 70% of the energy. So this is because some companies are installing photovoltaic plants in their roofs. Here you can have an example where this is the largest photovoltaic farm in Europe. It produces more than 13 megawatts over there. And in relation with our project, on the city, as I said, it's committed with the climate change. So we started working in 2010 when the agreement was signed with the Covenant of Mayors, but the project has to give up. So in 2020, the local government started again with the project. Then in March was signed the agreement. So we had from then 2 years to finish and to draft all the documentation that we have to deliver to the Covenant of Mayors. So nowadays we have drafted inventory of emissions and the assessment of risks and vulnerabilities. And you can see here the aims or the goals that we have imposed working in this project. I mean, we have to reduce, of course, CO2 emissions in our territory by at least 40% by 2030. And we have to increase, or we want to increase our resilience by adapting our city to the impacts of the climate change. So at this moment, as I said, the drafting of the reference inventory and the analysis of risk has been completed, even the SICAP, but we are waiting to finish these conferences to implement all the results of the tools we have used for this project. As I think everybody, when the pandemic time, we started to use by the conference to meet online, to attend different webinars. And one of them, we met Cynthia or her colleagues, and we saw that it was an interesting project, ETU Initiative. And in one of these these webinars, we knew that there were a call where ETU Initiative wanted to launch this call to participate, to looking for different projects who are represented, that represented as at least some of the ETU principles. You have here ecological response, territorial equity, social innovation, green economy, and cooperation and commitment, and at least 2 of the 4 pillars. And we saw that our project could match with the first ETU principle, ecological response to climate crisis, and of course with 2 pillars, the number 1, energy planning, and the 4th, energy governance. And we saw that there were 2 tools, PRISMI and Local for Green, that could be very useful for us in developing of our project. So we decided to prepare the documentation. We submitted this documentation, and we were really lucky because we were selected. So thanks again for selecting us as a flagship case. Which are the objectives or the goals we are expecting to finish or to achieve with the project in collaboration with the ETU Initiative? Of course, reduce the consumption of energy and reduce the greenhouse gas emissions, encourage consumption of renewable energy and fight climate change, of course. And finally, to promote specific energy saving measures in the private sphere, particularly in the field of buildings and homes and transport and mobility. In conclusion, what we want to do is compliance with the Sustainable Development Goals in concrete number 13 of the United Nations. Also the objective number 3 of the Spanish Urban Agenda, and of course on the Urban Agenda 2030. And specifically taking advantage, of course, as I said, the tools, knowledge, and experience and results of this amazing project, ETU Initiative. As I think we are late, so I will try to summarize my explanation. I think we will have tomorrow more time to explain. So I will skip some slides, if you agree, okay? Because this is the relation between our project with the ETU principles. So I will talk tomorrow about them. This is the work that PRISMI colleagues from the University of Sapienza did with the PRISMI tool. As the rest of the project, they established 3 scenarios. The first one was the baseline, the real current situation of ONDA, and scenario 2 and scenario 3, thinking in mid-term and long-term, thinking by 2030 and by 2050. So the results of the project, taking into account this data, initial data that you can see here, the demand of the different solutions proposals, and here we have the global horizontal irradiation and the wind in our area. And the results you can hear. In summarize, we could say that producing the third of our electricity from renewable energy sources will reduce more than 50% of the CO2 emissions. You can see here, where in the scenario 2, the proposal was to install the half of the total surface that we have in the warehouses of our industry. The total is 1,000 square meters. And these are the results. And another interesting point was what local in Fundación Musol did about using local for green and proposing some measures that we could consider in our SICAP. And of course, we will implement some of them. I have to say that they studied all our real situation, and even they consider the problems that we could have if we implement these proposals. Maybe tomorrow I will talk more. And finally, I wanted to show to you a short video. I think it reflects, it gathered all the information I have to try to give it to you in this short explanation. So I would like to show you this video.
Under the city of quality of life and opportunities. A city with more than 300 sunny days a year, beside the sea and natural parks. With unique traditions, an ancient history, and a heritage declared an asset of cultural interest. A city to live in with your family. A place to grow and progress due to its excellent facilities, services, and surroundings. Active and versatile, committed to sports and the well-being of individuals. A sustainable and modern city committed to the environment. Safe and welcoming, always willing to engage with you. All this and much more in Onda Logistic, Mediterranean Business Park.
So you can see we are working harder, trying to improve all the things we think is good for our CCAP. And regarding to the question you asked before, I would like to say that we had already a technician office where it was in charge of the initial CIEP. Nowadays, we took into advantage this office. It was comprised of politicians and technicians. So this office was improved with competencies, and we are now in charge of the CCAP, and even working together with the colleagues that are managing the Agenda 2030. Of course, we have worked with the citizens. We have had different meetings with the local associations, representatives of industries and tertiary sector. And we even launched a survey to the citizens in order to get as much information as possible. So this is our initial proposal. Maybe tomorrow we will have more time to explain.
Great.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Antonio. Yeah, it's really impressive with 300 sunny days, and have no doubt that you're going to reach the target for the PV solar that you have projected with these PRISMI tools. So thank you very much. Now moving on to the Croatian example. Branimir, you can.
Thank you, Hrvoje.
Yeah.
I will just give a brief input from the municipality of Brdovec, since we're also a flagship case. The presentation should start very soon. But just first, I would like to offer my thanks and on my behalf and on behalf of my municipality to the organizers of this workshop and the conference, because it's a great opportunity for all of us. So until the technical difficulties are resolved, we will continue to answer the questions.
I mean, if we cannot find the presentation, then make it just give a short overview of what was.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but tomorrow we'll hear a bit more. Yeah, about the case.
Well, the process of local energy and climate planning needs to start at the local level, obviously, and work its way from the bottom up, because sometimes it's very difficult to plan for the local people who know their environment the best. I was going to give a brief map. It was a great opportunity for you to see the municipality of Brdovec, but I'm just going to say that it's close to Zagreb, and in Croatia, our municipalities are very fragmented and small. We are one of the largest municipalities and have 11,000 inhabitants. So basically, what the problem is for the local stakeholders, especially in the smaller municipalities, is that they simply don't have the capacities to deal with the these issues that are very important, but sometimes hard to understand. And for those issues, thankfully we have specific energetic agencies. Like, for example, we have the Regional Energy Agency of Northwest Croatia, which is specialized in dealing with such problems. So we can sort of comply with their knowledge and their suggestions. But of course, given that every municipality is specific and has its own rules, like we saw an island or some other municipalities that are very small or detached, they're very different for energetic planning than municipalities that have large urban centers. Well, we are neither. We are a rural municipality, but somewhat close to the capital. So our capacities are relatively okay, but in cooperation with the regional energetic agency, we are developing our own SECAP for this next period. Key sectors in our SECAP are it's going to be somewhat surprising because buildings comprise most of our energetic consumption, but one of the key sectors is transport. Because we have already created a sustainable urban mobility plan that deals with lowering the emissions of our transport sector. And this plan will be also included within our SECAP. Some of you may remember we have been on workshops over these past 2 years. We were starting some of the actions from our urban mobility plan, and right now, currently, we are in the process of building a cycling path. So we have actually already started to move on towards this plan because the year 2030 is very close. So, as I can also say, we have been using, as an ETU flagship case, we have been using 2 tools, the PRISMI tool and the Local for Green tool, which are both now PRISMI Plus and Local for Green Plus. They are fairly easy to use and user-friendly. So I would like to recommend that all of the communities, all of the municipalities use these tools, but not just these tools, but all of the tools in the ETU toolbox, because they have some real data behind them. I would also like to say that in our projections from those tools, we have made certain scenarios as well as the ONDA, and also have different scenarios for gradual ascension to fast, say combination that uses not only the public buildings, but also the households, that is the residential sector, and the transport sector, because the electric vehicles are now starting to become the norm. And with those scenarios, we have been able to get some results. We will discuss more of them tomorrow, but maybe to answer one of the previous questions, what's important with those results is that municipalities need to obtain as much hard data as possible. It means we need to do a lot of research. We need to dig in very deeply, and to get the data that is necessary for using our tools. Also, what's very important is that the community is included in those actions, Because if we, as municipalities, as energetic agencies, try to use only our buildings and maybe create some, just create some plans, our results will not be what we expect them to be. We need to use the communities. That's why the first panel was very, very helpful. The communities for renewable energy, and in Croatia they are also now in the making. Some legal issues are being resolved, but they are also going to be available mid-year. But the key here is to include all of our citizens, to explain to them why it's important to make green transition, why and how they can also be included in the transition. And of course, the benefits that they are going to gain from that. So I would like to conclude with that answer.
Thank you, Branimir. Yeah, thanks a lot. I mean, I think that you're going to be one of the, if not the only municipality in Croatia, and maybe beyond that already will have a sustainable urban mobility plan and a climate action plan. So that really shows the commitment of the municipality. So thank you very much. So our next speaker from the Consortium Oltrepò Mantovano, Mr. Tadei, please, would you take the floor?
Thank you very much. Okay, first of all, I would like to apologize because for today I do not have a PowerPoint presentation to use, so I'll try to be as much interesting as possible. Just a very brief presentation of my institution. As Consortium Oltrepò Mantovano, as I mentioned, we represent 19 small and rural municipalities in northern Italy for a total of about 100,000 inhabitants. I would like also, on behalf of my president and my director, to thank the ETU Initiative for letting us joining as a special case, because in these first 2 or 3 hours of our 3 days conference, I already listened to lots of very interesting experiences and inputs for our area and for our institution, and for what concerns SICAP. For us as Consortium Oltrepò, SICAP in the current situation is an objective, meaning that our municipalities currently did not finalize their SICAP. It's an objective which is one of the main priorities of a document which is called Strategic Development Plan of Oltrepò Mantovano 2021-2027, which was a strategic document drafted using a bottom-up approach with all of our mayors and councillors during the last quarter of 2020 and the first quarter of 2021, in which through many online meetings due to the coronavirus restrictions, through these many meetings that we realized, we drafted this document which outlines the main priorities and actions to be achieved jointly by our municipalities in this in the programming period in which we are in. One of the main priorities to be achieved is a joint SICAP for all of our 19 municipalities, because all of our majors agreed that SICAP is a key document to provide answers to the needs of our area from the energy and adaptation to climate change point of view, because I think that we share common needs and challenges with many small and rural municipalities around all Europe, which is lack of internal expertise, lack of staff, and so SICAP is a key document, first of all, to have a clear picture of the existing situation related to the energy consumption aspects, and then the SICAP is, in our opinion, the main instrument, also the main tool, also to find solutions to the needs identified during the SICAP process. Another aspect which for us is of the utmost importance is that we want the SICAP to be a shared process with our communities. We want to develop a joint SICAP with a bottom-up approach to achieve the commitment and the engagement also by our stakeholders. So going from citizens to private companies, and also, of course, local authorities. So these are the two main objectives for us related to SICAP. To be, we want it to be a joint document that takes into account the whole area and not only single municipalities, and we want it to be a shared and bottom-up process with our stakeholders. Regarding the question about the energy consuming sectors, we are a rural area, and so our main productive sector is agriculture. I listened with lots of interest to Miguel's speech because we share lots of we have lot in common with the area he described. So lots of crop farms, and also lots of livestock farms, mainly pigs, also cows for dairy production, but mainly pigs. And also we are facing quite lots of problems with the management of those how were they called, externalities, I think. Okay, so in recent years some farms and also some local authorities tried to start some projects to build also biogas plants. But until now, the reaction, let's say, from citizens was not very positive. I think due to a lack of information about this kind of plants, because it seems that many times citizens are scared as soon as you start talking about waste management plants. And so for that reason, I think that, I think our measures think that the opportunity to develop a bottom-up setup is important, also to inform citizens, to raise their awareness, and to let these kind of initiatives, which are very important if you want to build a path towards the energy transition. So the involvement of local communities and local stakeholders is really of the utmost importance. So yeah, my few comments are.
Thank you, Simone. I think.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. It's a good example of small municipalities dealing with common problems in a joint way. So it's an excellent example of cooperation on local level. So last but not least, I would say the Comunità Energetica Val di Maira e Grana, Mr. Filippo Grisantema, Alessandro Agnese, please give us some insight into your case.
I am Alessandro Agnese, the president of Comunità Energetica Val di Maira e Grane. Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry for my school English. Firstly, I want to thank Alexei and all the organization for this opportunity. We are very glad to be here. So let's spend some word about Comunità Energetica Val di Maira e Grana. Thanks to a regional law that provided foundings for the creation of energy communities on whole territory, the association Comunità Energetica Val di Maira e Grana has been founded in 2021 in order to support small villages which have the possibility and the expertise necessary to follow the fast energy transition opportunities. To do that, we started a coordination office with 3 young energy engineers that self-sustain thanks to finding of calls of tender. At the end of 2020, and now updated in November 2021, the Italian government transposed the European Directive RED II on the promotion of the use of renewable energy sources with an economic incentive rewarding renewable energy communities. In this direction, the work of our engineering staff focused the attention, making a strategic plan with the measures that we want to implement in our valleys, including sustainable mobility, free consulting services to municipalities, self-consumption with a renewable energy community for each municipality. ETU project helped us in this last target, analyzing the potentiality of a renewable energy community in a little town, Elva. Now I give the floor to Filippo that will summarize that what we have done with the help of Alexia and Ivana.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. We we are doing the SECAP, and we are investigating some ways to cut CO2 emissions. And one of the most interesting ways that we investigated are energy communities, renewable energy communities. So ETU project helped us in this direction, in studying possibility of energy communities in our territory. In that counts 21 municipalities between Valle Mayra and Valle Grana. And we, in particular, we studied the case of Elva. That is a little municipality located at 1,637 meters on the sea level. It counts only 83 inhabitants, but has an important tourist flow all over the year. So thanks to its position, it has important photovoltaic potential. And also it has many types of stakeholders, like like the post office, a city hall, a municipal museum, a restaurant, a dairy, a spa, bed and breakfast, stall, public lighting, and private houses. So how you can imagine, all those activities require a not negligible quantity of energy. The spa, for instance, is very, very energy intensive. And now with the cost of electricity, a self-consumption paradigm would help to have a more sustainable service in economics and environmental terms. So the main role of this renewable energy community is to take advantage of the production of clean energy in order to pay less for the price of electricity and to have less CO2 emissions. So with Alexia and Ivana, that I want to thanks a lot, we supposed to select a potential micro network in Elva with the city hall and 10 residential consumers with an estimated annual consumption equals to 35,000 kilowatts hour per year. So why this choice? For sure, this is not the best for Elva, but it can fit well with the other 20 municipalities of our territory. So we can transpose this solution to the other municipality. And the good photovoltaic potential of the city hall guarantees the possibility of hosting 20 kilowatts of power with photovoltaic generation, with an annual consumption, production, I'm sorry, of 26,600 kilowatts hour. These data are by PVGs. Since the global consumption of the buildings is really higher than the yearly production, the installed power would not be enough. So we have two possibilities: increase the power or decrease users in the microgrid. That definitely is not what we prefer. So for simplicity, we assumed to have a larger PV system on the city hall rooftop with a power of 30 kilowatts. And performing an economic analysis also with stores, the toolbox, we found that the renewable energy community earns an annual revenue about 3,200 euros. So supposing a PV cost of 33,000 euros, the payback time would be about 11 years. And as I said, this is a preliminary analysis helpful for all the 21 municipalities of our territory. And in this specific case, it's possible to involve commercial activities, which would reap many benefits from joining the renewable energy community. Furthermore, it's reasonable to investigate incentive opportunities in order to implement energy storage solutions in the microgrid. And in conclusion, we should investigate the possibility of implementing a micro hydroelectric power plant into the renewable energy community. So this is all, and thanks again to Alexia and Ivana for the work we've done together, and you for your attention.
Thank you, Filippo. Thank you, Alessandro. Now, before I let you go, just one, I did not forget about our discussants, Filippo and David. So please, could you just explain, having worked with so many municipalities now, your experiences regarding the ease of use, the understanding from their side, and also the adaptability and replicability of the tools in other municipalities? How hard is it? Is it possible? And do you see potential for future replication? Maybe Francesco.
Okay, thank you, Rovier. Well, I will very brief. I know that we are a little in delay. So the local Flagship provided the ethos with a wide set of fiscal policies that can be implemented by the municipalities to promote the renewable energy sources. And when I say fiscal policies, I mean creation or modification of taxes and fees that are managed by the local authorities. Such policies were already tested in the first phase of the local Flagship, and the adaptation in most of the cases was quite easy, because we were already sure that the policies were feasible, especially from the legal point of view. That was one of the main challenges and barrier in the first phase, but we had already overcome this challenge. So in most of the cases, we could adapt it quite quickly. Of course, most of the work in this adaptation process was to tailor the fiscal policy that we had designed to the specific feature and characteristic of each municipalities. First of all, identifying which sectors were with most emissions, and then adapting the policy also to the economic restriction that many local authorities have. Of course, it's not so easy to modify fiscal revenues, especially when we wanted to put in place some incentives in terms of reduction of taxes and fees. And just to conclude, 3 or 4 points that I would like to highlight regarding the usefulness of the fiscal policies, even at local level. First of all, I think that this kind of policies help local authorities to really mainstream renewable energy promotion and avoid renewable energy promotion is not a topic only for the environmental department of the local authorities. It's something really transversal in that it should be mainstreamed in almost all the municipal departments. And the fiscal policy help contribute to do it. Second point is the capacity of the fiscal policies to involve the private sector. I mean, citizens and companies. Even small incentives, as we have tested in Spain, for example, regarding the real estate tax, even small incentives are able to orientate, modify, and promote virtuous behaviors of the citizens. And then we also worked with some fees and taxes that are for big companies. And in that case, such fiscal policies prove to be able to really to mobilize some well, significant investment to promote the renewable energy resources. In some cases, some taxes and fees were also increased, and the additional revenues were allocated specifically to the renewable energy promotion. So in that case, we could also help local authorities to mobilize and increase public funding for renewable energy sources.
Thank you, Francesco. Yeah, Davide, please.
Yes, thanks. And yes, for us, it was very interesting to continue what we started with PRISMI project, with these new opportunities we received from the Interreg MED program with PRISMI Plus. And we had the challenge to enlarge the case study applicability, not only to islands, but also to rural areas. We have seen also today in the many cases our colleagues presented this afternoon that the results is not always the same, of course. So the challenge of the tool is to provide something that can be tailored, can be applied in different ways, according not only with the context of the territories we are considering, but also according with the amount of data we have, because not always we have the same detail and accuracy of the data. And of course, the results is, it will change. These results, I think, they were very, very interesting for planning the Sustainable Energy Climate Action Plan, to give to the municipalities, to the local institutions, some numbers, some details that we have seen today for starting a planification that can be done with some real situation of the island, of their territories, for these different scenarios, 100% average scenarios of renewables integration. That's for us. It was much work more with also the ETU initiative, but someone said the rewards of a good work is more work. So we would be happy to do that, and also to cooperate with all these different contexts. And also we cooperated with the EU Secretariat for Clean Energy. They elaborated a template called CETAS, Clean Energy Transition Agenda, that is quite similar to the SECAP, but is more focused on and oriented on the islands. And lastly, some consideration with what we have seen during this last week, unfortunately, with the situation also in Ukraine and in all over Europe. The European Commission just published a new package called Repower EU, fostering and accelerating the numbers for the decarbonization from 55 and for increasing the energy independence of all of our countries. So I think this discussion we had today, it's a very real and concrete starting point to enlarge from island to rural areas to urban areas to the world nations for fostering this decarbonization. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Davide. I think with this, we should conclude the session as we're already quite late. So I think it's coffee time. So yeah, thank you all for listening.
Thank you, all of you, for your insights on developing the SECAPs and everything around that. Just to say that in terms of timing, to do our final panel as efficiently as possible, can we go outside, get our coffee, and come back in so that we can go straight to our last session? Okay? Thank you. See you in a moment.
that is demonstrated the energy impact of and the equivalent forest biomass at the legend. So with the hatch, if you don't see the legend, is the Natura area, which is also included. But this is the map only for the tree crops. So let's see also for the forest. It's nice to compare. And I would like to highlight that there are many factors to influence forest biomass level, as density of the forest, the forest type, the vegetation quantity, and last but don't least, moisture content of residual biomass. To conclude, having identified the forest biomass, Skopelos contains vital resources for the gradual decarbonization of the existing heating system. The next step, through the continuation of the project, is the investigation, so for the selection of the site of the installation of the biomass plant, as for the development of a profitable business plan. It's worth to mention that an extended environmental evaluation and permitting is required to secure the minimum possible impact on the ecosystem. Two comments about the ETU, which assisted the pre-feasibility study, providing the very first ground of the Skopelos Energy Transition Plan. And also, ETU principles were proven useful during the planning stage and importantly contribute, and we believe will do further, to the social acceptance of the project. Thank you.
Thank you, Manos. To be honest, I understand it is in a very preliminary stage yet, but what you said back there about having green jobs on an island and keeping islanders on the island instead of living could be top. Is internet back with us again? Yes. Can we try having Caterina Margariti from Municipality of Naxos? Yes. Awesome.
Yes. Hello.
Hi.
Good afternoon to everybody. I don't know if you can see me clearly.
Not yet, but in a while. Yeah, we do. Hi.
Hello. I see nobody of you. I don't know what happens.
We are all looking at you. Don't worry.
Okay. I am very disappointed not to be with you tonight and tomorrow, but okay, internet is going to give us a solution for this problem. I would like now to share my presentation. It's okay?
Yes, yes.
Yes? Okay. On behalf, I would like to bring the greetings and the wishes for success to this workshop and for the conference tomorrow from our mayor, Mr. Dimitris Lianos. And I would like to start my presentation. Naxos is an island in the heart of the Aegean Sea. Our municipality of Naxos and Small Cyclades consists of 5 islands. Naxos, which is the largest one, and 4 smaller, Donousa, Koufonisi, Iraklia, and Skinusa. Our municipality, as an ETU flagship case, aims to work towards reducing the environmental impacts of the energy use of Naxos buildings. Naxos Island holds a significant building stock which needs energy upgrading. The objective of the project is to investigate the feasibility of the realization of the energy upgrading, starting from municipal buildings. More specifically, with ETU, we examined different scenarios at 2 local schools, installing mainly photovoltaic units for energy production and batteries as storage system. The project of Naxos is aligned with the principles of ETU. The municipality responds ecologically to the challenges of climate change, aiming to increase self-sufficiency of its buildings. Also, a territorial equality is achieved as through ETU, we examine the case of two schools located in a village at the center of the island, and this way a decentralization strategy is applied. A social innovation also is proved by the final purpose of the creation of an energy community. Green economy is also boosted since energy costs will be reduced as fuel savings will be increased as buildings substitute conventional fuels with the green energy. Finally, for the implementation of the project, the cooperation between municipality and school community is mandatory and self-evident, and it will be meaningless without the commitment of the municipality to promote the clean energy transition and ensure further application of the ETU's experience in the island. The two schools selected, the primary school of Piloti and the technical high school of Naxos, are located to Piloti village, the most populated settlement of Naxos after the capital, that is Hora. Piloti is a mountainous village in an altitude of 350 meters with about 1,500 people. The winter in Piloti is quite cold, often with temperatures under 5 degrees, and sometimes there is snowfalls. In the primary school of Piloti, there are 108 school children, while in the technical high school of Naxos, there are 248 students. The project of Naxos will be implemented in 3 stages. In every stage, ETU components, territorial, technological, social, and organizational, will be developed. In the first stage, that is the current one, the municipality elaborating ETU selected the 2 reference municipal buildings. We evaluated their energy sufficiency and using the STORES tool to optimally dimension the system of photovoltaic units and batteries for the beneficial financial outcome, we simulated different combinations of equipment installations. Later, you could see the results. To the upcoming stage 2, the municipality aims to turn gradually consumers into prosumers, to provide the municipal buildings with energy certificates and elaborate incentives and give grants for photovoltaic installations. Regarding the stage 3, that is to improve building stock efficiency and create a renewable energy community. The scenarios elaborated were 4. The first scenario is to install photovoltaic panels to produce green electricity to the buildings while their surplus will be curtailed. It is a low capital intervention as a response to environmental impact of buildings under study. In the second scenario, there is a combination of a photovoltaic panel and an energy storage system in order to store the surplus of the produced energy, green electricity. This way, the requested self-sufficiency of the building is increased, but the investment has a higher cost. The final decision will be taken depending on the energy demand of the building. In the third scenario, an electric vehicle charger is added to the technical elements of the second scenario. And the last but not least, the fourth scenario introduces a heat pump to complete the intervention covering electricity, heating, cooling, and mobility needs. The elaboration of STORES tool gave us financial and technical results. for the Technical High School of Naxos. All different scenarios are acceptable, although they give different results regarding the profitability, the level of energy production, as we can see, and the self-sufficiency. Also, with the help of STORES tool, we have financial and technical results for the primary school of Filoti. But since it is a smaller school than the technical high school, the 4 different scenarios give different results. And eventually, the second one is not acceptable due to reasons of low demand. As a conclusion, we could say that the feasibility of the coexistence system of photovoltaic and batteries depends heavily on the energy load. The energy demand can be increased by adding equipment such as electric vehicle chargers or heat pumps and turn unprofitable installations to profitable ones. It is important to notice also that the energy profile of a building plays a key role in the assessment of the production and storage system, meaning that in the case of a residential building, we should expect different results. Finally, ETU Initiative proved a practical asset to boost the local energy transition plan by supporting Naxos, our municipality, during the initiation of our strategy for the energy upgrade of the building stock of our island. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Katerina. Now,
thank you too.
Well, we have 4 minutes, but I'm going to stand for this room, and the panel is yours now. So we have Ramon Gomez and Jose Maria Benito.
Benito.
Benito,
Don't
sorry.
worry.
From the municipality of Boca Island.
Yeah.
So please do your presentation. Don't get stressed. I
Okay.
will stand for you here.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Jose Maria Benito. I integrated the local government of Boca Island until last December, and nowadays I work as a local development agent. First of all, I would like to express our gratitude to the organization for inviting us to participate in this conference. It is a great pleasure to showcase the work we have made for six years. I hope you understand us and the project. Maybe it will be more difficult in my case, so it is better that my colleague Ramon Gomez will start.
Okay, hello everybody. I am Ramon Gomez. I currently carrying out my work as a local development agent in Soprova. Is a public company of the Mancomunitat de Municipis de la Vall d'Albaida. Our company is develop training and employment programs linked to green jobs. And we start. The project is located in Serra Mariola Natural Park between south of Valencia and north of Alacant. And the towns are located in the north face of the mountain. And so for that reason, the vegetation is more exuberant. Although they are rural areas with less than 5,000 inhabitants, the project area shows a clear human imprint. Serra Mariola stands out for the abandoned fountains, numerous farmhouses, and a green new road, which show the intensive activity of exploitation of natural resources carried out by the ancient inhabitants, snowmen, shepherds, woodcutters. And in this vegetable landscape, with more than 1,400 varieties of plants, it's a magnificent exponent of biodiversity of species with aromatic and medicinal properties. In fact, nowadays there are a lot of researchers who are developing the ethnobotanic knowledge. And the most famous product in this district is a herbs liqueur named Herbero. I recommend you. Most of the mountain range is covered with pine trees and bushes with cedar, gauze, oak trees, and different species. For this project, we are interested in for bioenergy tool, although we also find the local for green and prism interesting and applicable. At the beginning, I'm going to speak the summary, more or less, the project. We have a problem, I suppose it's a global problem, the abandonment of agriculture areas and the conversion from the intensive use for the forest ideal conditions. The forest ecosystem, sorry, with livestock and wood gathering. To disappearance of these activities has created ideal condition of dangerous fires. Forest maintenance and management is expensive and create a large amount of organic waste. To reduce this cost, Town Hall of Bocairent is proposing to use this forest waste for burning in municipal boilers and the production of compost with the remaining organic material. Moreover, we also propose converting prune branches which are presently burned, because this burn process can start dangerous forest fires. In this way, we propose reducing the energy bill by substituting fossil fuel with renewable biomass with zero carbon emission, while maintaining and managing our local forests. Don't forget that this area is a nature preserve with important biodiversity and which can be protected via these methods. For example, we always follow criteria for promoting biodiversity and improving forest areas. In the future, we want to research about the bioindicators to show the efficiency of these actions in the forest. Moreover, employment related to green economy will be created, and the small towns in the area will maintain their population. Okay. Nowadays, we are developing a viability study for the use of biomass in the municipal boilers of Bocairent. This document includes data about boilers, using biomass, forest and agriculture waste, necessary human resource, economic calculations, financial tools, organization, different proposals, and we are initiating actions. And the diagram that we observe only presents quantitative data of municipality of Bocairent. Biomass is a renewable and local resource, and through sustainable forest management, we can obtain a cheaper energy resource and employing local population. If you see in this slide, the available biomass regeneration is 10 times greater than we required. And in this way, we achieve an economically viable and sustainable project. It will be clear example of circular economy. With the replacement of fossil fuels by biomass, we hope to reduce CO2 emissions per year by 106 tons. And this biomass can be used both in chips or in pellets, according to the degree of signification that the project can achieve. Also, the unusable part will be used for compost. To begin with, we have carried out a smart circular economic project. Within the municipal forest fire prevention plan, the amount of biomass in different areas, for example, adjacent to the roads, CB 794, has been reduced. The objective has been to eliminate the conifers to impede the correct development of the hardwood trees. In this case, evergreen oaks, that is a typical climax vegetation over forest, and it's more resilient to the forest fires. Finally, the goals achieved. With this action, we managed to achieve the following objectives aligned with the challenge one of the ETU principles. In green economy, the management and improvement of forest and agriculture waste will reduce the energy bill of these towns. And new jobs, green jobs, will also be creating a circular economy, which will help to stabilize the populations in these towns. In the ecological response to climate change, we will reduce the virulence of possible forest fires, improve this forest space. It can even be for a forest with more resilient species and improve the biodiversity. We use biomass as fuel for the municipal boilers and to make compost, reducing CO2 emissions. And very important, this goal must be achieved in a sustainable way. Finally, the cooperation and commitment. This is a municipal project, but it affects a large area. So different towns can benefit. Agres, Alfafara, and Bañeres de Mariola. This project aims to encompass the municipality of Agres, Alfafara, Bañeres, under the same energetic transition model. And now we will talk.
This photograph shows the before and after of the implementation of a forest fire prevention safety strip. The effects are clearly visible from satellite, but go unnoticed on the surface. And you show the video tomorrow or the next day. In this case, the same point is compared after biomass extraction and 2 years later. The initial homogeneous landscape gives a way to increase biodiversity and tree growth. The project already has its own machinery for biomass crushing, in addition to the installation of a first boiler in the old people's home and another one in process in the new primary school. The next steps will be the establishment of a wood chip drying area, and finally, the acquisition of a pelletizing plant to be installed on municipal property in an industrial zone near natural park. And this is an example of circular economy that we took advantage of to demonstrate its viability to the students of the Bocairene Secondary School. The remains of the forest fire prevention work on this plot were used to make compost. Later, this material was used to fertilize the new tree planties to provide the area with greater biodiversity, giving back to the soil what had come out of it to generate new green life. And this is all of the project.
Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
I have to say, it's a pity we don't have Skopelos now with us. I mean, you could have such an inspiring conversation. Your project is such on a better, not better, but forward stage than Skopelos, and it would be interesting for them to have a discussion with you. But anyway, so for our discussions, would you like to make comments on the presentations? Someone? Yeah, so it's Alessandro.
Hello. Okay. I am not Alessandro. I am Alberto. Alberto Giaconia. I'm coming from Enea, but it's the same institution as Alessandro. Unfortunately, he could not be here. So first of all, I would like to thank the organizers and the speakers also, because this is a very, very interesting session as the ones before. And my comment, I have several comments, but I know that the time is passing fast. And so I would like just to highlight that we have been talking about highlands and national parks and natural parks. And these are remote areas and not easy to reach with external energy supply. And we know that for highlands and for this kind of sites, it is very, very difficult to achieve even economically the sustainability of the energy supply. So congratulations, because it is important that these areas could count on own resources as much as possible, especially in this period where we see that the price of fuels and the energy is not stable. And so this will bring for sure, will stabilize the economy. linked with these activities. And I would like also to highlight that in the ETU principles, you have five different principles, and I am wondering if you had a survey on these project operators to understand which of these principles were most difficult to achieve and what kind of barriers you met. I mean, financial or maybe social acceptance. We have seen in the previous presentations also that this can represent an important point, and the involvement of local communities as well as regulations. We have seen previously that there can be some barriers, and again, the instrument used like life cycle assessment or social life cycle assessment will be important. And in this case, also in terms of sustainability, the importance of preserving the biodiversity is a really important to stress this point. So I have several comments. I try to point out some of these. So I would like to congratulate with this and give the floor to the other discussants.
Yolanda Lechon.
And Yolanda Lechon from CMAT. I would like to add to what my colleague discussant said, and I would like to highlight that these 3 projects that we have seen have a potential co-benefits apart from reducing global warming emissions, and I would like to highlight 2 of them. First one would be the potential reduced environmental and health impacts from fossil fuel combustion, because in Ireland, energy used to be produced with fossil fuels, and these have potential or important health effects that could be avoided, and this is something that should be also highlighted. And also the potential co-benefits in terms of that you also have said in your presentation of increasing the employment in the island, in the municipalities, and also the economic growth that can be produced. And for that, to maximize that, I would like to highlight that it would be beneficial to increase the local content of the investment. So really involve local companies in this investment and make sure that these co-benefits keep inside the island or the municipality. So this is just the 2 things that I would like to highlight. And yeah.
Thank you. Indeed, I mean, the part about the health, it's something that could be used strongly on the societal challenge, because some actions, yes, they might be against the common societal idea, but when the overall input, according also to the health issues, could change minds and perspectives. Would you like to make any commenting on? Okay. Yes, Manos, please.
Just a small supplementary comment that another common point that 3 projects had was that they follow a decentralized strategy to depend less on the interconnection in case of an Naxos and Skopelos. And I don't know for Onda if is also interconnected, but the strategy is the same. It lies on the decentralization and increase of sufficiency consideration. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Manos. I think we are almost okay with time. I would like to thank you, the organization, for the event. I know we have a questions session. I don't know if we have the time for it. We don't have the time. I'm sure we can have questions while walking out. Yes? Okay, thank you all for coming and remaining after the coffee break. That was important. Thank you all for coming. And hopefully I'll see you tomorrow, yes? Okay, let's go for beer.